Mom, I'm jamming to music right now. By now, you probably know, by the title and the intro, that we are talking about sound systems, from headphones to stereos. Now, we are going to begin talking left to right about what we have here. Alright, starting from left to right, we have our wireless Bose Quiet Comfort version 2s. We have our HyperX Cloud 2s. And we have this, Bytech BYAUBS11BK, which is a Bluetooth speaker. And then we have a stereo, but obviously that's not going to fit on this table, so we're just going to talk about it. Now, instead of talking about each individual system alone, we are going to talk about scenarios, because there's so many different kinds of sound systems. You could have your HyperX Cloud 2s here, or you could have a totally different headphone. So it's just not viable to talk about each individual sound system. So we're going to talk about scenarios and what you would want for each of them. The first thing on our list is college, and a lot of people in college may want a sound system but don't really know what to get, because there's so many different things to get and there's so many reasons to get them and not to get them. So we're going to go ahead and lay it all out and say what is good and what would be bad for it. So starting with wireless headphones, these would work pretty well because these are noise canceling, and wireless headphones often are, but they're also meant for music. As a college student, you may also game. And if you do, of course, the gaming headphones are going to be better. But the problem is if you're going to the library, which is probably what you're often going to be doing as a college student, studying, going to the library, etc., then this isn't really going to work out because most phones can't drive this, and these aren't exactly great for music. Now, these, on the other hand, would work great for music, and they could be driven by any phone because they are Bluetooth. And the Bluetooth speaker. Well, you could have this, and you could use it as a college student, but the problem is if you're going to a library, you slam this down on the table and you start playing your music, no one's going to be very happy with you. You might get kicked out of the library. You're supposed to be quiet. This thing's not quiet. So, now the stereo. Now, of course, we don't advise the stereo for college students because even if you only have it in your dorm, you're going to have, or maybe wherever else you live, you're probably going to have other students or other people near you. And the problem is stereos are very loud because they have a subwoofer. And subwoofers create bass, and bass carries through housing very easily. And that is probably your main problem with a stereo. That is a reason a lot of people don't get it. Now, you also can't take a stereo to a library, for example, or when you're studying. It's just not viable as a college student. And also, they're very expensive, and you may not have the budget for that. Next on our list is an apartment. Now, the apartment is much like a college dorm, but you may also have some leeway. So you may also be gaming as someone in an apartment. You may have more time for gaming, which is maybe you have started professional gaming or something of the sorts. Then you really have to balance on what you want. Do you want a stereo for gaming? Do you want these gaming headphones? And if so, how are you going to listen to music, for example? Now, an apartment, don't get a stereo because at 3 a.m. when you're playing your music, the neighbors are not going to be very happy with you because, again, that subwoofer is going to push that bass through the building and it's not going to be a good time. So we advise, if you are a professional gamer, or something of the sort, and you live in an apartment, buy something like this, because this is going to really help you in games. And you don't think it does. You think, oh, I can just lay down my nice Bluetooth speaker here and hear everything. But the truth is with these gaming headphones, you're going to know where your enemy is, and that's everything with a lot of games. Now, if you are just a gamer that plays senior games, or maybe you don't play games that often, you could buy these, or something like these. One, because they're noise canceling, and if you live in an apartment, you're probably in a city, and it can be quite distracting outside. They also often come with an aux jack, so you can go ahead and plug that into your computer and play senior games. We don't advise it for FPSs or something of the sort, because these do not have a good soundstage. Now, the soundstage is very important because it helps you locate your enemies. You can imagine a circle, and the circle has the enemies on certain points of the circle. And the soundstage helps you be able to locate the enemies on the circle. Now, a studio. So let's say you are opening your studio because you want to play music, record it, and publish it. Well, we don't advise using gaming headphones. We're going to start with that, because gaming headphones do not offer the sound quality that professional studios need. So that's kind of out of the question. Now, Bluetooth speakers. No, that's not going to work, because when you put this down and you try to listen to your music, it's not going to be anywhere close to the quality you need as a professional studio. So that's also out of the question. Now, something like this. Again, no. Especially Bose, because Bose adds a lot of different features that really change the audio to make it sound better. That is the point of Bose. Bose is a company that actually boasts changing their music, changing the audio input that comes in into something that's more sounds better in music. Now, a stereo is what you want. And this is where stereo really shines, because one, they're customizable. Two, it really takes the raw data of the sound and it puts it to the speakers. You can also get them a lot louder if you may need that. You probably don't, but they do get a lot louder. They also often sound better, even though they are more expensive. I mean, you can spend $5,000, maybe even more, on a stereo. And the thing is you can always upgrade it. With one of these, you can't just take one of the headphones off and put a new headphone on that's newer. But you can do that with a stereo. Go to the living room scenario. So let's say you got your 72-inch TV on the wall and you're sitting back about to watch, and you're like, wait, there's no audio except for the TV audio. And the TV audio usually doesn't sound great. So you're thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to buy? Well, let's go ahead and see what we got. So you could use headphones, and you could use wireless headphones sometimes. The problem with wireless headphones is they're often not going to connect to your TV or home theater computer, because their compatibility is not great, especially on the Quiet Comfort version 2s. I'm not so sure about others, but I'm pretty sure it's about the same. Gaming headphones. Why would you even do that? No. That's not going to work. That's not going to work for really a couple of reasons. One, it's got an aux jack, and that would be very annoying. Imagine your TV's all the way across the room, and you have to get a bunch of extension cables for this aux jack to get it into that TV. Not going to be good. And the audio quality is just not going to be what you want. Even though they might have 7.1 or 5.1 surround sound, it's really not going to sound great. And the surround sound's not going to be great either, because it's not true surround sound, because there's only 2 speakers. Now, one of these. Well, no. If you had a Bluetooth speaker like this, it would not be good. You don't want to connect this one to your TV and start watching. But a soundbar works exceptionally. It's got HDMI inputs, so you can simply connect it to your TV, tell it's a soundbar, and boom, it'll work. And it's also pretty good in terms of surround sound. It's decent at it. It's getting better. And they sound pretty decent. But, of course, you don't want to buy this again. Now, this sound system, do you want to get a full stereo in there? And the answer is, if you can, yes. Again, if you're in an apartment, that's not going to work. College dorm, no. Buy something like one of these, or even a sound bar without the subwoofer on low. Now, if you are in a less populated area, then yes, it could work really well, and it sounds really great, and you don't have to spend that much on it. You can spend less than $1,000, maybe $500, and get a decent stereo that's going to work great for your needs on a home theater. Now, let's say you're an epic gamer. You love games. You love being a pro game athlete. You love Rocket League and Rainbow Six Siege and Counter-Strike Global Offensive. What would you want? And this seems like an obvious answer. Just buy your gaming headphones, duh. But it's not always. Yes, buy the headphones if you are competitive. If you're competitively playing a game. But a stereo is going to work too. And it may not work as well, but it's going to be pretty close and it's going to sound better. Now, let's say you party all the time. You let everyone come to your house every Saturday and y'all have a whole party till 4 a.m. in the morning. What would be the sound system for you? Should you buy headphones or should you buy stereo? Now, the answer is, well, you don't want headphones because headphones you can't, share with your friends. It's a party. You don't put headphones on and ignore everyone. Usually. I mean, you might, but not if you're hosting the party. Now, should you buy this? And this is where this sound system really works. Because this is going to work pretty well in that term. Because these things, you can turn them up, you can place them down and connect them to your phone. Takes 20 seconds. Boom. You got the music rolling. You're the new DJ in town. And the sound system. Yes, it could also work. They can get a lot louder than this, if that's what you want. And they can sound a lot better, if that's what you want. You can even buy a lower quality sound system that's just 2 speakers and an amplifier, and it would sound fine. Or even just a Mac and 2 simple speakers with aux jacks. You could do a lot with this, and you don't necessarily have to buy Bluetooth or a receiver with speakers. But, those are probably the best options. Now, let's say you're the all-arounder. Let's say you love all the time to listen to music while you're studying / working. Or you also game all the time. You love gaming. You play it on your off times. But you also love to party. You party every Saturday and Sunday. You go ahead and have a party. And you also are an audiophile and you professionally produce music. Well, what should you get? Now, that really depends on your budget. If your budget is unlimited, then you should buy one of each. You should buy these wireless headphones for when you're studying, these gaming headphones for when you're gaming, this for when you have a party. Not this exactly. I would never get this specific speaker. It is not great. Or you should also buy a receiver for when you want to have a party with good music or in your production studio. Now, the problem is you probably don't have an unlimited budget. You probably don't want to blow $5,000 on your stereo plus your speaker plus your headphones. So, the question is which ones should you get? And the answer is, well, if you do game, then you can pick one of these and the music will sound decent, maybe not the best, And when you're studying, you may not want to have this, but maybe you can play the music off of your AirPods or your earbuds, whatever you may want to do. Maybe you should just buy, a cheaper version of this, maybe not wireless headphones, and then have one of these, because this will absolutely help in your gaming if you do competitive gameplay. But if you just study, buy one of these. They are great. These are super helpful when you're studying or when you're working, whatever you're doing. These work great, and they're easy to connect to your phone, your laptop, computer, whatever it may be, except for a TV. We just talked about that. Now, should you buy this? The answer is no. It's more of a commodity. If you have a tight budget and you want to buy multiple sound systems, the answer is no, not really, because you can probably live without it. So there's that. But the stereo, how about that? Well, the answer is you probably shouldn't buy one if you are tight on budget, because stereos are also a commodity and they are expensive. You can spend a lot of money on a stereo, and if you go cheap, they're going to sound worse than if you just spent even less money on one of these or one of these, because stereos are just pretty darn expensive. And unless you really need one, you probably shouldn't get one. If you liked this video, remember to like and subscribe. If you did not like it, go ahead and hit the dislike button and comment what's wrong with it. Give any tips. Remember, this is our first video, so we are learning here, but we're learning with you. Riddle me this. What sound system do you use? Do you use wireless headphones, or do you use gaming headphones? Do you use your Bluetooth speaker, or do you have a really nice stereo? Thank you for watching. See you next time.